You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Kingsguard. Yes, right, a couple of you were asking about that. Here it is, y'all. So, apparently there's some interesting things we can do with the road here. Let's see. We'll do this another time. Yeah, because I'm going to get... Let's do... Actually, you know what? Let's try that. Let's try this. All right, Alarm Chain, you're up, and let's go. Yeah, let's try a little bit of this. See what we can get. Let's take the patch to the right. I don't think Leandros went this way, but I've been wrong before. Take the patch to the left. I've got a good feeling that Leandros went this way. Take the patch to the right. Maybe this rat knows the way. Though, honestly, it probably would be running from him. Take the patch to the left. If you're in the maze, always go left, right? Take the patch to the right. I have no recollection of this place. You were trapped in a maze of brick and mortar. Walls seemed to meld together as you blindly wandered the back streets with no way of telling where you were. It was even more difficult to make your way as the only light... Oh, let's see. Okay, let's do left. Left. And then we'll do right. And then left. Am I eternally doomed? Forced to wander this stone maze until my flesh tears and bones grind to dust upon these stained grounds? You were trapped in... Okay, so, interesting response. We'll do right. And then we'll do right. And then we'll do left. And then we'll do right. Left. Oh, okay, so go right. No, we'll go left. Okay. Alright, y'all, I think I'm a little too baked for this right now. We'll come back to that part later. Anyway. Okay. Even you need someone to watch over your back. And when you deny it, it makes me worry even more. Not to mention that you're a terrible liar. It's plain as the fur on your face that you're hiding something troubling. Why do you assume I'm hiding things from you? Everyone has a tell. Some start to stutter more than usual. Others scratch their noses or look away. You always get upset or try to keep your distance as though the mere act of being near you would give it all away. With how you've been acting recently, I can assure you that there is no use telling me it's nothing. I'm positive that Father told you something and the two of you are keeping it a secret from me. You've obviously been reading into things far too much. Must be all those books you read. See, you're doing it even now. It's something else. I wanted to be alone. When I discovered that you were following me, I just snapped. You rose an eyebrow, deciding against rolling your eyes and incidentally making matters worse. Is that really why you became so upset? That is part of the reason. These past few weeks we've been trying. Between drills, patrols, plannings, and meetings every day, it is so packed that I rarely get time to rest. The soldiers constantly inform me every few seconds of every hour of the day. I run to and fro to address all those issues, and then to top it all off, I have to routinely check up on you to see that you're out of trouble. We live in a time of peace, but that doesn't mean it's safe. Every day someone goes missing. There are murderers out there, psychopaths, kidnappers. I'm not a kid anymore, you know. Perhaps not, but regardless, what you fail to realize is that you are this kingdom's treasure. If an incident like this, like what happened yesterday, occurred again, and I wasn't there to get you out in time. Damn it, why can't you listen to me for once and stay at the castle like I tell you? Leandros removed his fist from the sizable crater he made in the wall, and pieces of shattered brick tumbled out. Dust and rocks stuck to the fur of his hand, caked there from the blood leaking out of his wound. Despite that, he showed no sign of pain. Leandros, tell me, am I really that much of a burden to you? I know I've been giving you a hard time lately, but you know that I would never want to see you suffer like this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be another bother. Please don't apologize. You're not the one at fault here. I might have taken that too far. Leandros opened his mouth to speak, but stopped himself. His expression looked grim once more before he shook his head. I've just been having a hard time getting a good sleep. I've woken up almost every night to address some issue. It's also irksome. I think you can see how it's impacting my mood. I was hoping to get away from everyone for a few hours. I feel like I was going to burst if I hadn't. Second, y'all. Water time. Give me that sweet, delicious water, girl. There we go. That's good. Yep, that'll do it. Leandros took another look at the wall and the damage he had done. It seems like I already have. He clenched his injured fist and grunted in pain. The blood still flowed from his wound. He tore off a piece of your cloak, took his hand and wrapped it around several times before tying it. Thank you. I'll leave you be. Jake, wait. What I said before was driven by my emotions. I said too much without thinking, and now I can't take it back. Lately I've felt like following your father's footsteps. He always seemed to be so strong, fearless, confident, more brave than I could ever be. Whenever I think of what harm may befall you, as you wander out in the world, I quiver like a kitten in water. Perhaps I've been wrong all along. I should have never tried to become like him. I thought that was a lesson I learned long ago. I don't think you could ever be like him. For one, you apologize about things that aren't your fault. And I do understand that you are only looking out for me, but it's hard to see that when you seem to distance yourself from me. There was a time when we used to talk with each other and play games for hours, but you were the only person who would spend time with me, and I miss that. I do too, which is why I don't want you to leave. I know, that is why I'm... Wait, you want me to stay? It would make me feel better if you stay. I thought I'll be asleep to keep myself in check with you around. I think I'll be able to keep myself in check with you around. Just talking with you here has put my mind a bit more at ease. Are you sure it's alright? You're not going to tell Father, are you? If he does find out, I will inform him that I invited you along. Alright then, I'll keep you company. Thank you. That puts my heart at ease. I don't know how, but you're welcome. Are you sure you're not hiding anything from me? The Andres turned away from you, showing his weakness once more. You can tell me. I promised your father, swore to remain silent. But that would be acting just like him again, and even I realize that keeping it from you is wrong. I'll tell you, but not here. Stay close. This isn't the safest part of the city. Do you promise to tell me? The Andres didn't turn away and looked you right in the eye. Yes. We'll talk more at the tavern. It will be less conspicuous there than in an alley. It should be harder for others to eavesdrop with all the noise as well. He nodded. It didn't seem like he was trying to deceive you. The Andres guided you back out of the alley and further into the city. Every time you passed by a tavern, you believed it to be the one, but still he kept on moving. You did say we were heading to a tavern, right? Is there one in particular you frequent? Stout Arm Pub. It caters mostly to beastmen, but humans are still welcome. For a second there, I was thinking that we were going somewhere else. You had another place in mind? Well, a brothel, really, considering we passed by so many taverns. What? Don't look at me like that. They're professionals trained to relieve stress and alleviate worry. Your mind really is set on that place, isn't it? I don't think a brothel would be an appropriate place for us to hold a conversation. Apart from Rose's Cathedral, I prefer to avoid such establishments. And yet, despite never using their services, they seem to think I'm somewhat of a regular now. I'm sorry about that as well. I know you have urges, but if you truly wish to keep your preferences hidden from your father, then you will need to be more careful. You're unlikely to have heard this, but half the guards know, and I've done more than my part to keep them silent from spreading any rumors. They know too? Yes, and you're lucky they don't seem to care too much. Apparently some of them found out through deduction. Easy to tell since you've turned down so many women your father introduced you to. I guess even you aren't good at keeping your secrets. As long as I have you keeping them in check, then I have nothing to worry about. Please, just try to watch yourself more often from here on out. Anyway, why did you decide on a tavern all the way out here? I don't even recognize this part of the city. There's a lot of beastmen here, too. I barely see any humans. You haven't noticed that we're in the Rust District? With how often you have traveled the city, you must have recognized some parts around here. 1 second, y'all. Water time. The Rust District. Huh. This is where most beastmen in the city live, right? Yes. It's not the most appealing or prosperous area, but I've grown rather fond of it. But despite that, this place is not one where I would want you to roam around at night. It's part of the reason why I don't want you to head back, at least not without me at your side. Whenever a crime happens in the city, chances are the investigation leads back to this quarter. 1 second now. That beastman you ran into yesterday, he used to call himself the Lord of the Rust District. Under his rule of this district, many citizens feared him, and it became dangerous to even wander in the day. We just managed to crush his hold on this place only a few months ago, but he got away. Now we patrol it daily, and it seems to be safer, though his influence is still felt to this day. So I guess it's thanks to me that you managed to find him and haul in a bunch of his lackeys. I'd rather he never met you. Besides, he still managed to get away. Anyway, here we are. The boisterous cheers from outside were quite loud, even for a tavern. You question how anyone on the block could sleep through that much noise. A rough-looking customer stormed out of the tavern and stumbled out into the street with a bottle in hand. took a few drinks as he swayed, most of it spilling onto his bare chest and soaking his fur. The beast man found a pole and held himself upright on it, though it didn't help as he slowly slid down. After a gut-churning sound, he emptied all of his stomach into the gutter before landing face first into it. Charming. I'm surprised you never get like that with how much you drink. You expected things to be quite rowdy from the outside, but this was on another level. Every inch of the room was packed with beastmen, and your eyes couldn't help but wander and take in every face. You were knocked to the side by a particularly large elk beastman making his way through the crowd. Hey, watch it! As he glanced down and met eyes with you, you froze up. He glared at you, his eyes moving up and down at your shabby-looking frame compared to his enormous stature as though he were sizing you up. Not like he would be much of a threat or a challenge. Hey, get your ass over here, I have a match to win! He only grunted and took a seat at the table where an orange-looking cat with black spots was waiting. The two of them clasped hands, and a nearby beastman who you assumed to be a referee put his own hand on the two. As soon as he let go, their chairs shifted back as they leaned in and put all their weight and strength to best each other. The room became even more rambunctious as many pushed themselves forward to cheer. You had a front row seat to the fight, and it almost frightened you to see such power. Another patron made rounds, collecting coins for bets and a dingy hat. Most seemed to be in favor of the elk over the cat. It wouldn't really matter much whether you won or lost. You'd still be richer than all these beastmen in the bar. You grabbed out your coin pouch and saw you only had a few pieces of silver inside. Let's save your money. It's actually... oh, that's interesting. So let's do all of these. I'm curious. Okay? Let's do all of these. Bet on the elk. You decided to put on the obvious choice. The hat made its way to you and you placed in a few coins and were given a dirty piece of parchment with a number on it. There was no way he would lose. Just one of the elk's biceps were twice as large as the cat's. And the cat seemed to be struggling. This would be over in a matter of seconds. Sweat dripped from both the contestants' brow and their arm muscles bulged under their exertion. The table shook as they both stood now, doubling their efforts. As you looked closely, you could have sworn you saw a crack in the wood. The bets were cashed in and everyone cheered on even more ferociously. The two grunted and heaved heavily, their eyes only on each other and ignoring the shouts from around them. Just as it looked like the elk was gaining leeway, the spotted cat twisted his arm and they both clashed into the table. Two glasses on the table half full of ale spilled their contents all over as they were launched several feet into the air before shattering on the floor. Everyone quieted down, many not expecting the turnout of the fight. They all just watched as the elk groaned on the table. It wasn't just a win, it was a full-on overwhelming victory. The cat was obviously much stronger than he appeared. You rubbed your arm and checked your muscle definition. Yeah, I think I can take him. Just before the bets were being passed back out, Leandros pushed in through the crowd and grabbed your arm. Finally found you. Don't wander off. You nearly gave me a heart attack. Alright, so let's go back and bet on the cat. Sometimes the underdog, or the cat in this case, was the way to go. The hat made its way to you and you placed a few coins and were given a dirty piece of parchment with a number on it. Sure, the elk had the cat-beaten size and likely strength, but he was holding his own. He also wasn't lacking in muscle himself. His physique wasn't that much different than Leandros. Sweat dripped from both the contestants' brow and their arm muscles bulged under their exertion. The table shook as they both stood now, doubling their efforts. As you looked closely, you could have sworn you saw a crack in the wood. The bets were cashed in and everyone cheered even more ferociously. The two grunted and heaved heavily, their eyes only on each other and ignoring the shouts from around them. Just as it looked like the elk was gaining leeway, the spotted cat twisted his arm and they both clashed into the table. Oh yeah, that's nice. It wasn't just a win, it was a full-on overwhelming victory. The cat was obviously much stronger than he appeared. Yeah, I think I could take him. Just before the bets were being passed back out, Leandros pushed in through the crowd and grabbed your arm. Finally found you. Don't wander off, you nearly gave me a heart attack. Alright, so, yeah, that's a key detail, so save your money. You decided to set down your wallet and simply watch the fight. Alright. So, yeah, so I guess that means I saved that money. Cool. Alright. He pulled you through the gap he made until you were out of the crowd and guided you over to a booth in the corner of the tavern. You sat down across from him as a server came over. She's a beast man, though not of a species you could recall. She had long and powerful legs and a thick tail that seemed to supplement her balance. Well now, I haven't seen that handsome face around these parts for some time. Work been keeping you busy? Yeah, something like that. Can I get you the usual? Yes, same for my friend here. Just half a pint will do, though. What? I'll have a pint as well. No, you won't. Oh, well, isn't he just adorable? Almost looks young enough to be your son. I'm far from that. Anyway, he'll get a pint, and that's final. He glared at Leandros but it seemed like his choice was law here. All right, I got you. Pint for you and half a pint for the little cutie there. She winked at Leandros before walking, though more akin to hopping away. You couldn't stop yourself from smirking as the lion's face became slightly red and he cleared his throat. Someone has an admirer. She does that with everyone she meets. Sure. She quickly returned and placed down your mug first. With Leandros, she reached across the table, making sure to bend over low to show off her blossoming bosom as she slid him his glass. Leandros' eyes went wide and he swallowed hard. You knew exactly where his attention was drawn to. As she righted herself to give him another wink and hopped... As she righted herself, she gave him another wink and again hopped away. Oh, stop it with that smirking. I'm not interested. He could lie all he wanted, but his face was as red as a steamed lobster. He took his glass, which you noticed was around 2 times the size of your own, and drowned it all down with a single gulp. What is it now? What is it now? Nothing. Just never saw a glass that size before. Which is why I ordered you the half pint. Still hard to believe that you finished it all in one go as well. I was thirsty. You know, if you just let go of that pride of yours and try a brothel at least once, I think... I'm not visiting one. Just drop it, all right? Okay. I see that she's not your type or species of whatever she is. She's a kangaroo, from what the other patrons have told me, not that that has any influence on whom I would decide to date. I'm just not interested not with how busy I am. Kangaroo, huh? Bit of an eye-opener to see so many different types of beastmen gathered here. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks, or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!